remote village on the edge of African rainforest, Amani and Zamara, two beautiful girls, were born. Zamara was from a rich and powerful family, and Amani was from an ordinary family. These two girls got to know each other from the very beginning in the school, and their friendship grew so deep that it surprised everyone. There was so much friendship between them that they chose their clothes the same. They both went shopping together, and they did everything together and lived like two sisters. When Amani and Zamara reached adolescence, a tribal initiation ceremony was held to mark their coming of age. In this party, an attractive and tall young man who was a skilled hunter fell in love with Amani. He was a skilled hunter and had powerful looks that captivated Amani. And because of his attractive face, he attracted the attention of the village girls, including Zamara, and they quickly fell in love, and a deep love relationship between them started. Zamara was happy on the outside, but the fire of jealousy was burning inside. She looked at Colombo, but something dark grew in her heart, a secret and forbidden interest. Over time, Zamara began to approach Colombo. She used to see his in the market under various pretexts. When Colombo was at home, Zamara would come to their house under the pretext of seeing Amani. Gradually, Colombo also fell in love with Zamara, and they established a secret relationship. Several months had passed since Colombo and Zamara's secret relationship began, and Amani had never suspected a thing. But one night, when she decided to go home earlier than unusual, everything changed. Amani slowly reached her house, and as she entered, she heard laughter that stopped her. Her heart was pounding, but she walked silently into the room. In the darkness of the room, she saw something she never expected. Colombo and Zamara together, smiling and in each other's arms. Amani's body froze. She stared at them in absolute silence for a few months, unable to believe it. The most familiar faces were now the most alien people in her life. But instead of confronting them immediately, she decided to leave the scene secretly. She walked out the back door of the house, but this was only the beginning of her revenge. Amani, who now knew the bitter truth of betrayal, was looking for a way of revenge. She could not let this betrayal go unanswered. She went to the old advisor of the clan, whom everyone knew as a magical expert. She suggested Amani to use ancient magic to punish the traitors. A few days later, Amani performed dark magic in a ceremony attended only by the consultant and her. She used mysterious tribal powers to destroy Zamara and Colombo's lives. A few days after the dark magic ceremony, Colombo suddenly developed symptoms. He started coughing violently, and his body gradually became weaker and lifeless. With each passing day, he was getting worse. Strange and purulent wounds appeared on his body. A few weeks after the onset of the illness, Colombo's condition took a frightening turn for the worse. His body was no longer just festering wounds. There were deep and open wounds that exposed the flesh of his body. But what was most terrifying was the presence of small white worms that could be seen inside the wounds. He realized with horror that the worms were eating his body alive. Worms crawled out of the deep wounds and quickly burrowed into his skin as if they had attacked him. None of the local doctors and shamans could find an explanation for this terrifying event. Columbus, who saw his dire condition, begged anyone who came to see him to save his life. But no one had ever seen such a disease in this village. After seeing Columbus' terrible condition, Zamara was horrified and decided to save herself from the dark magic. With a desperate and confused face, she went to the old witch to find a cure. The witch said to him, "You were also part of the betrayal. This is the punishment written for you." But that night, while the fire of her resentment and frustration was burning, something unexpected happened. In her sleep, she had nightmares in which she was being chased and punished by evil creatures. One night, when she woke up, she found that she could not move. Her body was paralyzed and only her eyes could see. She could not scream and was alone in the darkness of the room, waiting for her better fate. Finally, after weeks of suffering, Columbus died. His body had changed so much that it was unrecognizable. Zamara also died unexpectedly the same night after Columbus' death, in a state between sleep and wakefulness. The villagers were horrified by their death, and everyone was talking that maybe this was a curse from the gods. But in the midst of all this suffering and pain, Amani not only did not find peace, suffered from remorse and regret. Also, she had taken her revenge. She could not sleep at night. Nightmares of the faces of Columbus and Zamara haunted her. Over time, she realized that she too was somehow captured by the same darkness that she had wished upon others. The end of this story not only shows the bitter fate of the traitors, but also reminds us that revenge, even if it seems sweet, ultimately includes the person himself, and reminds us that revenge has devastating consequences not only for those who are punished, but also for those who carry it out. I hope you enjoyed this story. If so, please like the video and comment on what you learned from it. And don't forget to subscribe this channel for more enchanting tales just like this one. Thank you.